This weekend, the Kremlin launching its largest aerial assault to date on Ukraine, more than 800 drones, one of them striking a government building in Kyiv. An infant now said to be among the dead. Keep in mind that another deadline from President Trump to the Kremlin to change course has come and gone so far without any consequences. Scripps News International correspondent Jason Bellini is live in our Washington, D.C. newsroom with the details. And Jason, you've lived there. You've seen these assaults firsthand, especially in Kyiv. What stood out to you about this latest attack?
Hi, Del. We sometimes sound like a broken record when we say the largest attack in this war so far. We've said that many times this summer, including when I was in Kyiv in June. It was the largest attack. Well, today beats them all with 800 drones, as well as around a dozen missiles flying into the nation's capital. And what made this one extraordinary is where one of those drones hit.
More than 800 drones, more than a dozen cruise and ballistic missiles. What made Sunday's assault different? For the first time, Russia struck a Ukrainian government building, home to the prime minister and her cabinet.
Де ворог вперше за час повномасштабної війни влучив будівлю уряду в самому центрі міста Києва. І все виглядає таким чином, що Росія не готова і не прагне миру, не готова до перемовин.
On Monday, she led 60 foreign diplomats through the damage to see it with their own eyes. A chart from the Institute for the Study of War shows the scale. Russia's strikes have surged since last month's Trump-Putin summit in Alaska. Ukrainian officials and analysts now warn the barrages could soon grow to more than 1,000 Shahed-type drones a day. More air defenses could help, but won't solve it. That's why Kyiv believes the most effective weapons now are economic, hitting Putin's war machine in the wallet.
The EU's top sanctions official is here in Washington meeting with Trump administration officials to discuss sanctions on Russia, what those would look like, when they would be implemented. We're waiting to hear more about what comes out of that meeting. Del.
And Jason, on that note, leaders in Ukraine and in Europe are now calling on the president to impose those promised sanctions against Russia. Why is that now the focus?
It's the focus because, well, it seems now that it's the only thing that Putin might listen to. And by hitting Russia's economy hard, they may be able to change the course of this war. They're hoping bring it to an end. And, you know, one thing we should talk about is the way Ukraine is approaching this, absent the EU, absent the United States imposing harsher sanctions. They've been imposing sanctions by drone and by missile of their own by hitting Russian oil infrastructure. And it's caused significant damage, and some of that may be lasting, and that hits Russia's economy. And I've seen over the weekend, in fact, social media posts from Russia that appear to show long lines of cars in certain areas where they can't get gas right now because Ukraine has been so effective in hitting these installations. And it may also explain why Russia is hitting Ukraine so hard right now. Del?
Scripps News International correspondent Jason Bellini. Jason, as always, we thank you.